folks, I'm Keith Bowen and this is Hard Rock University. I apologize for the lighting. I can't control it. It's a clear sky, so there's going to be some really dark shadows, may make some things hard to see. What I've got here is a complete setup. I'm not using my table. I've got a different kind of concentrator here. It seems to be working really well. Let me show you the basics. It starts with the impact mill, which you've all seen before, and goes up through the elutriation column to send the larger particles back down into the mill. Goes up here to a dust collection bucket. I've got rid of the dust deputy now because I'm trying to boost the flow. If you see that large diameter hose up top there, comes down there and goes into this blower. Now this is a standard Harbor Freight dust collector blower, and there's your dust collector bag. Now from the bucket, dust collector bucket, this hose here brings water from the tank. I got a pump in there. Water comes up here, is injected into the bucket. The centrifugal cyclone pretty much cleans out most of the dust. It settles down in the water and then gets carried through this hose into the bucket concentrator. Now this is the Hydramatic jig, and you've seen it before, but Prospector Trip had a little deal where he had a bucket that was oscillating back and forth. It said it worked real well, so I've done my little version here. This bucket has some modifications to the inside. I don't want to show it right at this time. Hopefully I'll get a nice production model going there. And then it overflows into this tray here. That overflows into the tub for the Hydramatic and goes out that outlet there. We have basically 3 fluidized or semi-fluidized beds here, each one getting what it can. Before it finally comes out there into the bucket to basically collect the tailings, the overflow goes into the tank and is recycled back into the system. Now today I'm going to see if I can get, well, I've got 200 kilos of crushed 1/2 inch plus from Ryan's. It's all weighed out. I split off a sample. It's ready to go in the impact mill and get concentrated. Everything's fueled up, oiled up, ready to rock and roll. So let's get this thing fired up. It looks to me like the flow rate is a bit higher. I'm not having any problem with it bogging down. Then we have a tray which seems to be maintaining a fairly fluidized bed. Okay, this is the head grade pan of Ryan 200 kilogram sample. Currently reduced to 100 kilograms due to a power failure. This is the tailings grade. First of all, you may be able to see, I don't know, it's much finer gold than the average. There's one chunk that's more average up there, but I'm guessing at least 80% recovery there. And this is the amount of gold we've actually recovered so far. However, there was a problem. At 100 kilograms I had to stop to refuel and everything, and then the breaker tripped, which caused water to stop, which caused some stuff to get plugged, so I just had to stop everything and tear it down to a complete clean out to do it. So I wasn't able to reduce my cons as much as I normally would. Also, I was just not happy with everything. So I've got all the stuff in the secondary scalping stuff, the the tray, the tub, and the keen, plus all the stuff that I panned off of all these extra concentrates because I wasn't able to thin them down. I've got almost 2 buckets of material. Let's see how much gold is in those 2 buckets. I'm just going to run them through, this time just straight into the bucket concentrator. Don't try and run them through the mill because they're wet. So let's see how much more I get. So here we have the results from rerunning the material in the scalper tray, the scalper tub, and all the panning that I did. I have no idea where the gold came from which. This is from the scavenger tray, that stainless steel tray in there. And that's a fair amount of gold, but I mean that's from the entire tray. This is the gold that came out of the bucket. And as you can see, compared to the previous one, we're probably at least a third. It's kind of hard to tell depending on how thin it's laid out, but a third to a half again by reworking that stuff. And then here are the tailings. You have to take my word for it. I don't see any gold in there. So we've now recaptured that gold. Instead of throwing stuff away, if it isn't tailings, rerun it. Anything between the input and the tailings, it either stays where it's at or that goes back upstream and gets rerun so that you don't lose that. And there is the final recovered gold from 100 kilograms of Ryan's half-inch plus. Now remember, this is the lower grade of the 2 fractions. I'm going to get in close and see if it'll focus so you can see the particle sizes. We'll get this weighed out and see how much it is. Happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.